Could it be that it was muted? Of course it was muted. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody after many years driven the YouTube channel. And I put a little brief description in, but just below, so that you can have an idea of what's been up, and that I have really missed you guys. So I'm back here doing my thing, and I've decided to start with a reaction video just because it seemed like a good way to kind of get back on the air. And as you see, there was a bit of a glitch at the beginning. I have not hosted and produced a show myself for quite a long time. I've done my radio show. It's not any longer a terrestrial radio show because that was canceled when I started getting into some things during the COVID situation. So I would say about the same time that my YouTube channel was taken down. It was, I believe it was January of 2021. I'm pretty sure both of them happened at the same time. Anyway, I'm not going to get too into that because I think it's a boring topic, actually. It's become very boring to kind of go over that. We all know what was happening, or we all kind of understand that there was a lot of censorship that took place. And so I'm just going to push on. And I'm really hoping that all of you who have continued to subscribe will continue to support the channel, and that I will earn your subscription and hopefully some more, because I've lost many, many subscriptions, of course, over the years. And I just want to be able to, I've missed it, and I want to be able to get back into it. That's really the bottom line. So I thought I would just do it on my own, without any fanfare, without any hoopla. And I so appreciate all of you who have stuck with me and who have messaged me and who have gotten in touch. I've so appreciated it. You can't know, especially since my husband passed away. And that was in 2022. And believe it or not, with the new year, that's, coming up to 4 years, which is very hard to believe. But the world is a different place now. And I feel I was able to get the channel back, and that was not an easy thing. So I am being somewhat careful about what I broach to begin with, because I really just want to have the conversation with you and with others, other guests that I can have on, and sort of pick up where I left off. So your comments below are going to help the channel. Your likes are going to help the channel, as you know, with any other channel. Subscribing, sharing, all of those things. So to make it more interesting than having me sitting here yapping for a period of time, I thought what I would do is just start with a recap of what critical thought is. And I came up with, there's a video that, and I'll leave it below in the description. I haven't done it yet, but I will after the stream, so that you can actually go to the original video. And I'll try not to talk too much during the video, but I do want to respond to some of the things that are being said here, which I think are said better than I could have. It disconnected and reconnected on its very own. You can see the video in the background. We cannot hear the video. So I just want to...
This one line perfectly captures the...
Oh, look at that. Doesn't that intrigue you? This is a channel called PhiloNautica. And philo, like philosophy, Philo. Nautica, in the nautical sense. Nautica, all one word. And so if I can't get it going here, I do apologize. And if I can't figure it out, then I'm going to come back. And I just wanted to let you know I'll be back, and I will be. Okay, so it's telling me that the desktop's going to work, but it's not. It's not. Let's just see what you guys are hearing. I'm not sure if you're hearing anything back there, but I'm certainly not. Oh, maybe I'm not monitoring it. It could be desktop audio. Okay, nope, that's not it. As I said, it was actually working really well when I was testing things out. So anyway, pretty pictures in the background. And as I said, it's PhiloNautica. I've never heard of them before, never been to their channel before. PhiloNautica. And it's a really good little primer on critical thinking. I believe that it's just been put up. It's called How We Ended Up Raising the Stupidest Generation. And so in a certain way, it may be better for you just to be listening to that without having me make comment on it. But it just really resonated with me because honestly, I wonder that myself. How did we get here? Even with my own kids, I am the mom of 6 kids, and I can't say how they came to the beliefs that they came to, all of them quite different, except that I did try to raise them to be independent thinkers and critical thinkers. And I think that's part of what my philosophy has always been. I was raised that way, to think things through. One of the stories that I've told before and that I think is worth telling again is how my dad was a World War II and Korea War vet, and born in LA, and yet I was raised in Canada. And so my brother had a farm. This was in Canada, and he was harboring draft dodgers at his farm. Anyway, there's all sorts of different versions of the story, and I'll just stick to the one I know because I was probably about 12 when he was doing that. So I got to meet people who were actually, they were picked by lottery, I think it was. Anyway, I lived in a place in Canada where it was very easy to get across the border, and so we were, my brother, who's quite a bit older than me, was harboring draft dodgers. They would come across, and I don't even know how they met up. Anyway, my dad and my brother would sit down at the table together and have a discussion about the difference between, say, World War II, and we could all have a discussion about that again, but the difference between World War II Korea and the Vietnam War. And that was really interesting because as a kid, I just remember them having these arguments over a cup of tea. They weren't drinking, which I think was helpful. They were drinking tea, and they would get up at the end of the discussion, which was an argument for the most part, and shake hands and say, see you next week. And to me, that is what critical thought is. That is the ability to have a discussion, an honest discussion about things that people may disagree with fundamentally, but to be able to hold the thought that we can still actually be in relationship with one another. There was a post that was made by a person that I quite respect. He's probably the oldest hippie I know, still has the long hair and the headband and everything. Probably hasn't changed one bit except for his age since, my camera thinks that I'm wanting it to move, but I'm going to move it back over here. Let's just move the camera. That's one problem with it. An automatic camera. It wants to do stuff that I'm not asking it to do. So anyway, could we have, I want to have all of the technical difficulties so that we can kind of figure out what the glitches are going to be. It's determined. It really wants to show you the room that I'm in. So anyway, I'm not going to get distracted by that. I'm not going to be much longer either. I just wanted to finish that thought that what I really miss. And, I know I was totally psyoped as a kid when I was dealing with the anti-war committee and all the rest of it. And I see the same roots of the bogus, inorganic protests that we have today. We weren't paid, but we were young and we were very impressionable. And that's a story that I want to be able to share with you guys, and I want to hear your stories as well. However, just on the point of critical thought, to me, it's just the ability to hold two ideas. So this guy had posts or any of the other stuff that we can actually just get together and encourage one another. And I have lots of stories that I'd like to tell about about the show itself, behind the scenes, and also, how it started. But also, there's some things that I'd like to chat about that I think are relevant to some of the issues that are happening today. And also, I'd like to talk to you about how the channel came and went and came back again. If you're interested in that, if you have questions about it, I'm happy to answer them. And I do think that I'm cutting out a little bit here too, so I don't want to. I keep saying I don't want to drive you crazy, so I'm really going to finish now and try not to drive you crazy. So thanks very much, everybody. Have an amazing day. I'm going to be doing my little band this afternoon, and I'll tell you more about that as well if you're interested. But if you can just help to support the channel, help me get back on my feet, I would so appreciate it. Just with likes. I don't have a member situation yet. I don't even